Hey guys, welcome to the Recap Podcast. My name is David, and I'm the youth pastor here at Victory Church, Oklahoma City, where we meet every Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. We are here to talk about what God is doing in our lives in the youth ministry and to recap on what happens at our gatherings. Now, let's check out our next episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Recap Podcast. It's me, David.
Rochelle.
Other David.
Woo!
And Preston.
Hey, it's good to have you all back. Yeah. Yay! Ta-da!
Episode 8.
One thing to take note, we didn't have the
9.
podcast last week is because we had costume party, and we just want to let you all know, those that are watching and those that are hearing this, this is what we do. When we have a friends night, we don't really do a podcast, but hey, it was a great time. David Vincent dressed up as
Wolverine.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite characters, the Wolverine. Yeah. So yeah, we had a costume party, but other than that, it was a great time. Was it a great time?
Yeah.
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 Really? Rochelle, what are you dressed up as?
I was Simon from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh yeah, you were. That's true. Yeah. You got me there.
Y'all's costume got stolen and done better. Because y'all didn't have a third. So Cayenne, Lexi, and their friend, kind of.
They won. They got
Yeah,
they dressed up
But
as 3 trick monks.
Who needs Alvin when you have
You had
Simon?
Alvin. You
I mean,
That's true.
who needs Theodore when you got
What do you
Simon
mean?
and
Theodore
Alvin?
is the best. He's so
No,
cute.
he's not.
They're all cute.
He is, but we don't need him right now.
He's definitely-
Just-
Actually,
Oh,
no.
sorry.
Yeah, we can't
He's
hear
one
you
of the
yet.
worst.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, before we go to announcements, you know what? Preston had a fun question. So come on, Preston, what do you got for us today?
Who did you vote for in the 2024 election?
Whoa!
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I mean,
Question?
hey, to be fair,
No.
the
No.
Bible also teaches us
No,
about
no,
politics,
no.
but
That's true.
let's not go into that
Pastor
topic
John had
tonight.
a message that said, should Christians be involved in politics?
What'd he say?
Mm.
Of course.
But he also
Mm.
said something about, you can bring church into politics, but you can't bring politics into church.
Ooh, that's a good point
There's
too.
got to be a balance. There's got
You
to
know
be
what?
a balance.
We should talk about that next time, and we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway,
Yeah.
how many ridges are in a dime?
What?
Anybody know how many ridges are in a dime? Closest answer wins.
Wait.
How
Say that
many?
again.
You know a dime?
A dime.
You know how the outside has a little.
Oh,
yeah.
there is.
Yeah. How many ridges are in a dime? How many? There's closest answer wins.
25.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I feel like there's definitely one coin that doesn't have ridges.
No, a
If I-
dime has. It's not a trick question.
Okay,
Dimes
okay,
have
I had to
ridges.
make sure.
Trust me. Trust me.
Let's go with 74.
74. Okay.
No, 76.
Ooh.
63.
I'll give you a hint. It's more than 100. Everyone gets one more guess.
Wow, more than 100.
What? 140.
176.
Okay.
150.
Rochelle was closest.
Hooray.
What?
118 ridges on a dime.
Oh.
Look it up. It's very true.
How do you even know this stuff?
2 years ago, it was a bonus on one of my math tests.
2 years ago.
I got it right.
You got it right without even
Did
searching
you,
it
have,
up?
did you have a dime in your pocket?
No, the hint was it's between 115 and 120. I just got lucky. I have a dime in my pocket though, and I didn't count.
That'll take like,
Yeah, that would suck.
yeah.
That would
Because
take,
how
like,
do you know when you count
118
at that
seconds.
spot there? How do you know it's one round? That's
You
the
have to,
same
like,
spot.
mark it with a Sharpie.
That or
something.
you put lines on it, and then you count one quadrant and then you times 4.
Ah.
Might work.
Okay. That's a good way.
Or you cut it into 100
Cut
and
it.
you count 1 and multiply by 100.
Here we are talking about dimes, everybody. So now you know 118.
118.
Oh, there you
What's
go.
your strategy for counting ridges on a dime? Tell us. We want to know if there's a more efficient method.
Before we go to
Tell
announcements,
Preston.
I want to go
Not
back
me.
to what David Vincent said. Which coin does not have ridges?
I swear there's one that doesn't.
Is it
A penny
quarter?
doesn't. A nickel doesn't.
Okay.
No, does it? Does a penny?
No, I think it's just a nickel.
A nickel definitely doesn't.
A nickel doesn't have it.
A nickel for sure. I don't know about the other ones.
I feel like the nickel's such an oddball coin.
It is
Like
5 cents.
Yeah.
What
Who's
can you?
on the nickel? Anybody know?
I want to say is it Andrew Jackson?
No, he's on the 20. don't
Yeah,
know.
but 8's on the 5 and the penny.
Yeah.
I'm a foreigner.
But Andrew
I don't
Jackson,
know.
I don't know who's on the 5.
I'm not American. I just let you know. Well, funny thing. Oh, okay, we're going sideways. We're going to side note here. Funny thing. I think one of the girls here in the student ministry asked me, "Oh, I have to take a citizenship test," and I didn't know that all of you have to go through a test about your presidents here in America. Is that true?
Yeah.
So she was asking me, "Oh, what is the number president of the what is Abraham Lincoln? Like, what number is Abraham Lincoln?" And I say 16
Oh.
because I did like syllables for like social studies in America, and she was like, "No, it's 15," and I'm like, "No, it's 16. No,
Is
it's
it
15."
Jefferson?
Yeah, it's Thomas Jefferson.
And then she
I know my
challenged me and she said, "Well, she's American," and I'm like, "But I remember it's 16. So is it 16 or 15?"
It is 16.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 16. I always think 15 though. Whenever.
You know who the 23rd was?
No.
Grover
I bet you do.
Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland?
Underrated president.
Oh yeah, what did he do?
No clue, but he was for sure underrated. He had to be.
And then
He's
the
not
first
top
first
5 then.
president? Come on.
Obviously.
Come on. First president,
George
Rochelle. Come on. First president. What is
George
it?
Washington.
Okay, I'm glad you know the
Wait, do we have to
president.
take a test?
That's why I heard from
I've
the
never
from
taken
the
a
girl.
No,
test.
there.
I take-
Yeah, it's a 50 question test. It's
I
not
took
about
it.
50
Great.
question
But
test?
It's about America, right?
It's about
Yeah,
America.
I've
yeah.
taken it before in 8th grade, but that was
Yeah,
just like for
Well,
fun.
only in
If you
8th grade.
pass it,
That's crazy.
you don't have to take it ever again.
Oh,
Because I know I did pretty well on mine.
I've only taken it once.
Because I love
and you
my
passed
history
it.
class.
Like, that's
So
a
you
pass.
you passed it and you don't need to. Okay, sweet. Well, there you go. Number 16 president is Abraham Lincoln,
23 is Grover Cleveland.
which is
I
very
think.
underrated. I didn't know that.
JFK is the best.
What? Okay. What number?
What's
Before we
the
go to
last thing that went
announcements,
through his mind?
JFK. What number president is he?
I don't know.
40. Is it 40?
I don't.
Well, Donald Trump is going to be the 47th.
No, 46th.
46th.
48th. He
Forty-
was already the 46th.
Oh, so now
So
he's going to be
48.
48th.
So he's both.
JFK, okay, well,
30
then
something.
Joe Biden,
It has to be
then
30
Donald Trump, then Obama, then Bush, then Clinton,
Okay.
then was it JFK? I wasn't alive, so I don't know.
And then it would have. Lyndon B. Johnson has to come after. So, because he was.
Oh, that's true.
Guys,
Lyndon B.
do
Johnson,
your
then JFK.
history lessons. There you go. History 101.
They're somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. 2 announcements we have today is that Friendsgiving is happening next week, November 20th. And what are you guys looking forward for Friendsgiving? Food. Anything else?
Games.
Games.
Friends.
Jesus. Friends. Oh, awesome. So put it down in the comments. If you are going to Friendsgiving here in November 20th and you want a dessert, or maybe we want to hear you out. We'd love to hear you out. No promises, but definitely. I think Jordan was telling me that he got a smoker and he was
does
going
have
to
a smoker.
he has a huge smoker and he was comparing it with the height of Xavier, and poor
It's like
Xavier.
this tall.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It is tall. It is a tall
So
smoker.
apparently his dad makes some really good barbecue.
Oh, there you go. There you
I
go.
don't eat it, but I've seen it.
We're gonna try. We will try one day.
I don't mean to go back to the topic, but I need to redeem myself. So JFK, listen, he was really fascinated with the moon landing, right?
Yeah.
Moon landing happened in 1969. In 1969, and he didn't live to see the moon landing, so he had to be in like the presidency was like 60.
Yeah. No.
It was definitely in the
It's a
60s.
lot
Sorry.
further back than you were thinking.
Okay, yeah, it was a lot further back. Sorry, I just need to
So it
redeem
should be
myself there.
50s.
Because
60s. No, he was in the 60s.
his was like the initiation of the moon landing, and then.
Whenever the
Civil
election
rights.
was, whether
Civil
it was
rights stuff.
62 or 64.
It's him, JFK, and Malcolm X were like this. So yeah.
There you go.
Anyway,
Well,
sorry, I had to redeem myself
Going
there.
back to presents. So Friendsgiving, November 20th. What's the last one that we have? Another announcement that we were talking about it. David got it. Yeah. What is it?
Youth missions.
Youth missions. That's right. Next year, 2025, we have youth missions. We're going to Orlando, Florida, where we're going to help with the relief. But yeah, if you're interested and you come to the student ministry here at Victory Youth OKC or Edmond or Grapevine or Iglesia, you can sign up to the missions trip next year. We're going to do a vet process, just to let you know that we can talk to your parents and everything. But if you're very interested, go and comment or email me or contact me, and I'll give you a piece of a form, and we're gonna go, and we'll get you on board. Sweet.
When's the last time we had the youth missions? Because we had one.
Do you guys ever had a youth
I think
missions?
we had one with
Where?
Jerry. Louisiana.
Oh,
Because remember Timo went?
I didn't go, but maybe.
Yeah.
How long
I
ago
wasn't
was
here
that?
Either. I just heard about it.
Oh, well, there you go. If you never went to missions, you can come to missions next year. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah. Yesterday we talked about also we're still in the parables. We're still about talking about what Jesus talked about in the parables, and it's awesome. I love how Jesus like to explain to us in parables, teach us in parables. And we were talking in Luke 14 about the great banquet. What better way to tie it with Friendsgiving? Because when you have a banquet, it's all about food, it's all about meals and everything. So, Friendsgiving, banquet. What do you guys think about the parable of the great banquet? Any thoughts?
I think it can be interpreted a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, not like interpreted, but like can have a bunch of different
Yeah.
like themes, like a bunch of different lessons. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, I think one thing to take note. I was even rereading it again and again and again. I put myself in the shoes of the parables too. Like, for example, the host, which Jesus was sharing a story, he was going to invite the people that he knows first, right? And he invited the people that he knows first. Like, when I read it, because I had a relationship with Jesus and he invited me, I put myself as those people sometimes where I give excuses, because when the host invited those people that he knew, they all gave excuses. And I'm going to read this verse to us and just a recap for us a bit more. It says here in Luke chapter 14, verse, we go all the way to 18. But they all alike began to make excuses. The first said to him, I have bought a field and I must go out and see it. Please have me excused. And verse 19. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, right? To give you context, it's basically you bought a new car and then I have to go and see my new car. That's what basically this guy was saying. And another say an excuse, I just got married, I have a wife, and therefore I cannot come. And so, man, when I see this, I feel like I give excuses many times in my life. And then whenever I want something in return from God, I seek him, I pray. But when God asks me to do something, I always make excuses. I do. And I mean, this parable is like, it just shows like, where am I at right now? So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you guys think you're at right now? Are you the host friends that gave excuses, or are you one of those people that that you don't take this banquet for granted, that you don't take your relationship with God for granted? Like, where do you guys see yourself at right now? Any takers? No takers? Oh man.
Preston, you got anything to say?
I think I'm in between both of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause like sometimes I'll go and then sometimes I just like make excuses for myself.
Mhm.
'Cause I just either am lazy and I don't feel like doing it, or just that's really my answer right there. Laziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, it boils down again. Like, it's so true. Like, have you ever feel like you take our relationship with God for granted so much times? I remember when the Dodgers were in the World Series, I'll be always praying, and I never see myself pray so hard. Like you when your sports team is in a competition, or you're in a sports event with your school, and you're like, I pray so hard. But then when what happens when when you don't need prayer from God, and you're like, oh, I'm just doing my own lifestyle. Like, how about you guys? Have you ever done that before, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Preston hasn't, but yeah. I mean, he's a Spurs and a Cowboys fan, so they're miles away.
Wemby had 50 last night.
He did have 50 last night.
Did you guys win?
What?
For what?
Basketball for his Spurs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, basketball Spurs.
Who did y'all play again? Because he was going
Wizards.
Yeah, him and Jordan Poole both went off.
Oh, nice. So guys, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can all feel like I can also see as like God being the host and him inviting is like he chose us. He chose the sinners, and I mean, thank God. I praise him that he chose me. That I'm invited
Mm.
to his kingdom.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I think to even ask you one big question about this. It says here like he invites the sinners after he invited the people who he knows, right? But why can't he invite the people first who are poor, crippled, and lame? Why did he choose to invite the ones that he knew first? Have you ever guys thought about that?
I mean, he chose to invite them because they're his friends,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows them. I mean, if I was having a party, I'd probably invite my friends rather than randos. But
That's true. That's true. Man, yeah. So when I was like sharing about this entire parable about everything, I think the one biggest take for me when I was sharing it is like I personally think for myself there are days that I really take God's relationship for granted. I don't know whether you guys feel the same way, because it says here like when Jesus was sharing to everybody, even the sinners and the Pharisees, man, dude, like there are days where I always make excuses to him, and he's asking me, "Hey, spend time with me. Have you been reading your word? Have you been spending time with him in reading his word and praying?" But no, I only want to do it whenever I feel like I need to do it. But there's never a moment where I choose to do it. To be honest, past 3 weeks, never been a moment where I choose to do it unless like, oh, I know that somebody needs prayer. Then I begin to do it, but I never choose to do it. Yeah, I think that's the toughest thing, man. That's one of the toughest thing. Like, how would you choose to not take his relationship for granted? Like, can you do that?
I mean, you don't really realize what you had until it's gone. So once life starts getting tough and you have nobody else to rely on, then it's like, then it really like puts it in a perspective and like shows it, like makes it like pop out way more than it did before. And so that's why it's important whenever it's good or whenever it's bad, just to keep your relationship with Jesus.
Yeah, yeah,
And on why he invited them, I mean, they were also probably cooler. They probably had more status.
mm-hmm.
They probably made him look cooler. So he probably wanted all the cool people at his party, I guess.
Yeah. Sweet. I know. How about you guys? Like, have you ever make a choice for yourself in your relationship with God, or what do you guys do?
Yeah. Short answer. I don't really have a example, but yeah, I feel like everybody does at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Rochelle?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't have an.
For real? You guys don't even have any example at all?
Of when what? Of when we made an excuse?
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
you take his your relationship for granted, or maybe you know and you realize that, and you're making a decision that I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
that way.
all the time. Whenever I see people that don't have Jesus, and I'm like, I mean, I just like having Jesus. Like, it's like a privilege. It's not like a right, kind of like okay, well I have him now, so now I can just do whatever and I'm keep him because it's my right to have Jesus. Like it's a privilege. Like like Christianity, you don't just choose Jesus the day you're saved. Like you have to choose him every single day. You have to choose to continue to keep following him even when it gets hard, and you have to choose to live for him every single day. It's not a one-time thing and then you're just set for the rest of your life. You're good. You have to continually choose him. And so whenever I see people that don't have Jesus, like I need to remember like what I have, like what I have is life, and it's heaven and salvation. And so why would I not want to give it to those people that don't? And the thing is, they don't know that they're lost. Like you really don't know you're lost until you're found, and you look back and see, man, I was lost. Like all the Christians that used to be atheists, used to be these like terrible people that like did all this bad stuff. I don't think they knew they were lost until they got saved and Jesus found them and changed them. Then it's like, wow, I was really lost. And so these people, they don't know that they're lost. And they might think they're saved, they might think they're doing fine, but in reality they're not.
Wow.
So I mean, we take it for granted that what we have Jesus and they don't. Why would we not want to give it to them?
I want to take us back. Can you remember the first time you had a relationship? Like you make a choice and say, I want to have a relationship with Jesus. Can you remember the first time you ever did that? Yeah, David, what do you say?
I said probably not.
Wait, yeah.
Probably not.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? What we're gonna do is something very different here tonight. We're gonna take a few minutes. We're gonna think about when's the first time you did. If you can't remember the details, it's okay. It's okay. But I want us to take us back because I like it how you say it's a privilege, right? But we forget it sometimes. We forget why do I even have a relationship with Jesus? Or when did I really choose to make a choice to have a relationship with Jesus? So I'm gonna give us a few minutes. You guys can think about it. You don't have to go in details, but I'm gonna start first, and I'm gonna share my own story about like when did I receive Jesus for the first time. And I think that really shows that if we are who we say we are, a follower of Christ, if we are invited to His great banquet, shouldn't we also remember the first time we ever talked and commit our lives to Jesus? Yeah, I think we should do that. Just like how the host invited his friends. His friends should know. His friends should know that, hey, this is my friend. This is my friend who welcomes me into his house, into his banquet, into this lifestyle, right? So I think we should just take this time, and share our stories like, oh, wow, this is the first time that I accepted Christ. I accepted God in my life. So I'll start first, and we'll go one round. I remember so clearly, like, I did not accept God just because my dad was a missionary pastor. I hated it when he was a missionary pastor. Because why? We had to leave my home. We had to go to another country, which people speaks different languages. And in my own personal life, I was like in middle school, and I was like, man, why do we have to do this? Dad, why do you have to go and share the gospel in Cambodia? And we spent 7 years there. And I remember so clearly, like when I was eight years old, I began to experience God's love. I remember on a Sunday where my dad was doing a Sunday service, and they were singing in different languages. I'm telling you, like Khmer, they speak Khmer. I have no idea what this language is. They were singing in Khmer, and I was like, man, I don't even know what they say, but I hear a gentle whisper in my heart, and he was saying, choose me. And I was like, who is this? Like, what's this whisper? Like, I know they talk about Jesus. I know my dad loves Jesus. My mom loves Jesus. They sing in a different language. They were like, Soksabai, they were like, oh yeah, welcome to church and everything. And I remember this gentle whisper telling me to choose him. And I was like, okay, I don't know about this. I'm bored. I have nothing to do. So I decided to be like, okay, I'm gonna choose this gentle whisper and say, yes, Jesus, I want to have a relationship with you. And everything just changed from that on. I begin to remember him telling me, I want you to go and get baptized in the muddy rivers in Cambodia. And I was like, why the muddy rivers? Because your dad is doing baptism on that day, and I want you to give your life. I want you to show and tell people that you are a follower of Christ. And I'm like, all right. So I told my dad, I want to get baptized. And he was like, you sure, son? And I'm like, yeah, I want to because Jesus tells me to go all in. And I'm like, okay. So I got baptized that day. Man, it was joyful. I began to experience God in a whole new way. I began to have a relationship with him in a more in-depth way. Because why? Not because my dad was a missionary pastor, or not because the whisper tells me, it's because I was obedient. I chose to commit, to have a privilege with this relationship with Jesus. So yeah, that's my story. That was the first time I ever accepted Christ.
How old were you?
I was 8 to 9 years old. Yeah. Man, it was a memorable day. Yeah. My brother was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just got to do this. And my brother would just make fun of me while I do it because he was like, we fool around. Me and my brother, we fool around. He's 2 years younger than me. There were times where, when we go to church and we see people raising their hands, and we make fun of people raising their hands, like me and him. And one day I raised my hands because God told me to do it, because he wants me to surrender my entire life to him, right? So I did that. And my brother was like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I don't know. Jesus just asked me to do this, and I'm just gonna be obedient, and I'm just gonna do it. And boom, like you said, it's a privilege to have a relationship with him, and I've never regretted one day that I did that. That I did that. All right. How about you guys? Somebody, anybody? David seems like he wants to
Preston.
share.
I was just gonna call out Preston.
Okay, call Preston.
Preston,
Then. Preston, you
right.
go first then.
It was in Texas. I mean, I don't remember exactly. I was young, very young. I think my dad and I just been talking before, and a couple days later, just by myself. I was just by myself in our old house in Texas, and I just did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like anything like my testimony. It's boring, but that's
No,
the
it's
best type of
not.
testimony. No. It's boring, but that is I think it's like I'm thankful that my testimony is boring. Like,
Yeah.
other like it's not like, oh, I was a drug addict. I was in jail for 10 years. I did this. I did this. I did this. And then Jesus changed my life. Like, no, that's awesome and that's crazy. But like, I praise God that that testimony is not boring at all. I praise God that my testimony is boring. That it's
That you
I
got
was
it
young.
easier than others.
I was always raised up in church. I had 2 loving parents that were awesome, and I accepted it. I'm very thankful I'm thankful for a boring testimony.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
What age? Can you remember?
Okay, I've always remembered, like, I just remember it was young.
It's okay if you don't have the details. Yeah.
Like, I don't really know if I fully could comprehend it, but like 5, 6.
All right.
Which maybe I did when I was like 4, 5, 6, and then did it again 5, 6, whatever. And I don't remember. It was just I just remember it was young.
That's cool, man. That's
when
awesome.
did you think you like fully, like not fully? We're never gonna fully comprehend it, but like when you kind of actually really knew what was going on. Because
I have
for
no
some
clue.
people that's a completely different date. And
I remember the first time ever was 4, but I don't remember. Like, I don't know if a 4-year-old can comprehend it. So
yeah,
I mean, I really don't know. And I mean, to me, it doesn't matter that much exactly, just 'cause I know I'm saved.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I mean, on a side thing, could you remember things that happened at 4 years old?
not
No?
really. No,
Well,
there,
yeah.
there's like
Only
there's
big
like
things.
Like,
a few memories.
or like certain memories,
Or,
right?
like
Yeah.
traumatic
I
memories.
remember.
Yeah.
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 I can remember like one.
Or just like pictures, kind of like
Yeah.
your old house or something like that. But I don't think
I'm sure that when you say 4 years old, I believe that God will speak to you there. Like yeah. Even though sometimes we can't remember certain memories, I believe that.
I mean, I have a memory when I was 4, and my grandma literally tells it to me all the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like she reminded you every single thing.
Yeah, and I remember all the time.
Okay.
I actually prayed for her because we were watching a movie from the Bible, and I got a little piece of paper because I broke her ankle.
You what?
I broke her ankle.
You broke her ankle?
Yeah.
What? How do you even broke her ankle?
Well, I don't even know. I don't remember that. I just know that I broke it, and I got like a piece of paper and I spit on it and I put it on her ankle, and I prayed for food, but the next 2 days later she was perfectly fine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a testimony there. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, how about you guys? So Rochelle and David, when is the first time you ever can realize or recall when you accepted Christ?
I think I was 7 when I was in my room, and the only thing I remember is that I was on my bed on my knees, and I had like Christian music going on in my little Bible with pictures in it,
Mm-hmm.
and my parents just came in there, and then they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm praying and I'm singing to God." And they were like, "Oh wow, I've never seen you do that before." And I was like, "Yep, I've decided to accept him." And
Wow,
then they just left me, and I continued.
that's cool, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, David, what do you got?
I don't know I'm bad with like ages. Whatever grade I was in, I think I like pinpoint the grade. It's probably like 4th, maybe. But I got baptized in VKids.
Wow.
So but I will say I don't think looking back there wasn't like a big like transformation after that in my life. Come to think of it,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I'd say that was the first time. But like, whenever the transformation actually started happening, I'd say it was like it's pretty recently. Actually, it's more like last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Jordan, and Xavier, we all recommitted our lives to Christ last August. Jordan knows the day, I don't. But and like since then, I've taken it in a lot more. I've gotten a lot closer. And before that, I was just kind of like, I go to church. Yeah, I'm here.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. Yeah, I believe so strongly. Like, even though like we first say, hey, I receive God as my relationship, I want to have a relationship with Him. There are days there's gonna be ups and downs. But I like how we need to remind ourselves that it is always a privilege to have a relationship with Him. It's always a privilege to know who He is and what He can do in our lives and everything. And yeah, man, it's inspiring to hear all your stories. Like even if you think like, oh, it's boring, but it's not even that just boring. Like it's boring to certain. It can be boring to like me telling my story. I think it's boring sometimes when I tell to people, and I understand. But I think we need to we gotta not take things for granted when we actually say, Jesus, I want you to come into my life. I want you to change me. Yeah.
What's it called? Well, I mean, for us three specifically, I mean, what you've been going here, you told me 11 years, right? Your dad's Oscar, campus pastor. Moises, Iglesia pastor, and then my dad's a pastor. He used to work here. So it's like we've been here for so long, but it's like we had to make that step on our own terms. So it's like I got baptized when I was 3 months old, outside that exit. But obviously I didn't commit my life to Jesus then. But so it's like you gotta make the decisions for yourself.
I've had a couple of friends that have rededicated their lives, and for them, that's not the same for everybody. But for them, it was like first time they just did it, just because. I mean, they go to Christian school, their parents are Christians. They're like, all right, give your life, and it's probably in the moment they're just like, oh, like I'm giving my life to Jesus. But then they get older, and but like they keep just doing bad things, and that doesn't mean everything like you can't do, but like just because you do bad things does not mean you're Christian. It's just like doing bad things and just thinking it's okay, not repenting of it, thinking, oh, I'm saved, it's fine. Now, whenever they rededicate, it hits you as in, I am a terrible person. Like I am a bad person. The things that I do are bad. I need Jesus. And the thing is, whenever you actually accept Jesus, it shows through. Before it's, oh, I can do this, it's fine. Without Jesus, it's I'm doing bad things, and now He convicts you. He doesn't condemn, but thank God, but He convicts.
Ooh.
And the Holy Spirit is in you, and He works in you and saying, now the things that you didn't feel bad for, now you feel bad for. It's saying, oh, I'm doing this, like I still want to, but now I know that it's wrong and I feel bad. That's how you know that the Holy Spirit is in you. And it's tough, because whenever you know you're doing bad things, it's like
it's true.
He convinced you. But the real thing that hit them is like, I'm a bad person. What I'm doing is bad.
Yeah.
I need to try my best to stop doing these. I need Jesus. And if I keep acting like these things are okay, I don't have Jesus.
Ooh.
And so that was the main thing that hit them.
That's good.
I saw a quote. It was kind of like that. It was knowing what God says and not following it is exactly what Satan does. Which kind of puts it in perspective.
Wait, say it again.
Knowing what God teaches and not following it is exactly what Satan does.
That is true.
That's where if you're in like a country that whatever and you've never heard the name of Jesus and you do bad things, that's bad. But it gets really bad whenever you hear Jesus and you reject Jesus.
Yeah.
You say, Jesus, I know what you say. I'm rejecting it. I'm walking away from you. That's when it's really hard in your heart.
Yeah. You know what? To relate it to the parable, it's also saying the same thing. Like you know Him, but you make excuses. You know Him, but you reject His invitation. And I think we do that sometimes so much that we reject His invitation. And I just got one thing before we wrap this a bit up. I like it how we say conviction and condemnation. What do you think about conviction and condemnation? What do you think is the biggest difference between conviction and condemnation? Any takers?
Conviction helps, condemnation doesn't. I think condemnation pushes it further away.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it unattractive to want to get better, versus conviction makes it attractive to want to get better. Condemnation is punishing you is punishing you. Conviction is like helping you through it.
Yeah.
Like if my parent was gonna condemn me, or if I got in trouble, condemning me was, what are you doing? Like, you're a bad person. Go to your room.
Yeah.
Versus conviction is like, hey, so okay, what did you do? I did this. Do you see how it's wrong? Yeah, I see how it's wrong. All right. Okay, apologize. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, now go to your room. Now go to your room for a little bit. Then it's like that. But conviction, it makes you want to get better. Condemnation can push you away, make you more angry.
You know what's funny? I think what you explained was correction. Like your parents tell you to do something, they're correcting you, right? Or David, you put up a definition of condemnation or what?
Yeah. So
What is
the
it?
actual definition is kind of like paper cut, not super specific, but the people also ask tab is amazing.
Mhm.
It says, "What does conviction mean?" Bible. That's great.
All right, let's go.
But conviction, when a person sins and they are made aware of it by the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
And then there's the same thing for condemnation. The legal status of liability to punishment or the actual infliction of punishment. So condemnation is like it's punishment, really, and then conviction is like telling someone it's wrong, but not like giving them a chance. Like you give them a chance instead of punishment straight away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and then when we have another one, correction, because when your parents do it, I think when your parents correct you, hey, you do what's wrong, go to your room. I think there's certain things that, yeah, your parents need to discipline. There's correction on there.
That was a bad example.
No, but that's good.
Obviously,
I
how do
think
do that?
it's good because
Just
we
condemnation
brought up
is
with a
like-
different C, correction.
Condemnation, punishment based.
Yeah. So, have you ever feel like sometimes when God condemns you or when God convicts you, when do you know that when the Holy Spirit, like what David read, when is it convictions and when is it condemnation?
I don't think he condemns us because John 3:17,
Come
he
on.
did not come into the world to condemn the world,
Let's
but
go.
that the whole world be saved through him. So he doesn't like condemn us.
Mhm.
Now, hell is eternal condemnation. Like
Yeah.
so that's what hell's for. But I don't think he condemns us.
No.
Convicts us, and I'm very thankful he does.
And there you go. There you have it. I think it's very important that we need to remind ourselves that when we read His Word, when God shows us a truth in our life, or when God shows us something in our life that, hey, like making excuses, He doesn't condemn us, but He convicts us. And when you feel that conviction in your heart that, hey, why am I making excuses to do what God tells me? Then we got to check ourselves. We got to check our heart, because God is convicting us to know that, hey, He wants us to change. But God doesn't condemn us. He doesn't say, Rochelle, you're doing it wrong, Don't be a leader anymore. Or like, what you did was wrong. Rochelle, you're late. The prime example. But He doesn't do that. He doesn't like say, okay, you're late. Now you can't do this anymore. No. He convicts you. All right, I'm going to be better. I want you to be better. I want you to know that, I've given you leadership. I've given you stuff, and I'm going to convict you. I'm going to grow you. I think we need to remind ourselves that, because many times, don't you feel like you're condemned and you feel like, oh, is that really from God? And you keep on telling yourself, man.
It's the lies of the enemy.
There you
That's
go.
his goal.
There you go.
When he convicts us, the Lord, he convicts us and then corrects us. In his Bible, it tells us what we're doing wrong and how to fix it.
That's awesome. Love it. Any last words of advice that you got for everybody to hear?
Wash your hands. There's stuff going around in my school.
There is a bug going around.
I haven't gotten sick. It's just allergies, but a bunch of people are getting sick.
I
So
know.
wash your hands, goodness. Especially guys, but everybody.
Give it up for David Vincent. He say that he has a bit of a cold.
Yeah.
And he made it. He made it today, guys. He made it today. So, yay, David. You made it through everything. Are you sick, Rochelle?
No, I'm not.
There you go. She's not sick.
I was last week.
Whoa, oh dear. It's going around. I heard Yukon. Everybody's got it. Does your Mustang? Is Mustang in schools have it?
Well, we don't talk about sicknesses.
Oh,
So I don't really know.
that's true. Yeah, you're right. You don't talk about sickness. Yeah, man. One last word of advice. What do you got?
Come to Friendsgiving and bring a friend. Give your friends the opportunity to come.
That's good. I love that.
Have faith and know that God's in control.
Ooh, that's very good. Yeah. I think we forgot one very important announcement. The most circles that invite their friends get a tub of ice cream for their circles. So if you want ice cream, you gotta invite your friends to Friendsgiving. You know what? We'll play by ear, okay? I think some of you guys like said, "Oh, but last year I didn't invite this friend, but he came for this thing, and I want to invite him from Friendsgiving. It's the first time at Friendsgiving. Okay, we might play by ear. If it's the first time, sure. First time at this Friendsgiving, I will play by ear. I might include them as being a friend that you
You
invite
hear that,
in your
Preston?
circles.
You can't bring repeat guests. Yeah.
Alright.
She got one.
You think my circle's gonna win? I got 2 people in my circle.
No, you have 2 people in your circle.
Me and Jameson were the ones on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, literally, you and Jameson were having a sit-down conversation with each other.
I know.
Yeah.
And then
It
doing
was awesome.
handstands.
It was real good.
Oh,
Wait, what
Wow.
did you say?
They were doing handstands.
M-
when I
me-
walked
You were
in.
doing handstands?
after. Okay, it was fun. It was awesome.
Okay,
It was the
that's
best circle group out there.
Jameson's brother
can't
Charlie
say
is
I've
apparently
ever
bringing
done
lots of
handstands.
people.
And the randomest.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he thought that he couldn't bring like he thought that he couldn't bring like girls because he thought they were gonna come to circle group with him. So he was like, "I heard I can't bring girls. Is that true?" And I was like,
no,
"No, you can
boys
bring
only bring
anybody."
boys. Girls
Who
only
said
bring
who said you
girls.
can't bring girls?
Charlie, Jameson's brother.
So Charlie told Jameson, or Jameson told Charlie.
I don't know who told him, but somebody told him he wasn't able to bring girls, and we were like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, now I can bring a lot more people."
Yeah, so it doesn't
It's
matter
the-
if you,
Like,
yeah,
the other kid that was in my group.
Oh, that's Jameson.
that's Jameson.
There's not another kid. There was only one.
Yeah, there was only one kid in my group.
So everybody, just to clarify, if you are going to bring friends from Friendsgiving, it does not need to be the same gender as you.
Bring whoever you want
You can bring,
under the age of 18. Do
just
not
make sure
bring-
they're from 6th to 12th grade.
Don't bring your mom.
Yeah, 6th to 12th grade. That'll be much more clear.
Or
So
your,
yeah,
or your weird uncle.
so if you are in Rochelle circles and you want to bring your friend that is a guy, yes, you can bring your friend that is a guy. It is counted as you brought a friend to Friendsgiving, and we'll count it in your circle.
I think my circle's gonna win. They have friends every Sunday and Wednesday.
We'll see. We'll see.
What if like me and my brother both have a friend and we both bring it? Then whose group does it count for?
Is it only one person though?
Yeah, if it's
Okay,
like
so
one
no.
person, like what if would it count for both of us?
No,
Are
it
you
would
and
just
Ian
count
in
for.
separate groups.
Oh, that is a good question.
Are you and Ian in
What about
separate
that
groups?
person can choose who he wants?
Yeah, I mean,
You know what? I'm just
Oh.
gonna say who he wants to be invited by.
Whose grade are they in?
who's what?
Whose grade are they in?
Who's
Who's
greater
the
than?
Yeah, whose grades? Like, are they in your grade?
Oh, what grade are they
Oh,
in?
what if I'm in 11th grade? He's in 9th grade. What
What's
if
Houston
they're in
in?
10th grade?
Who do they like more?
Yeah.
Me, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Well,
You're the
to
one
make it
driving 'em.
fair and everything equal, just tell him who he's agreeing to be invited
Okay,
by,
okay.
you or your
Rock,
brother.
paper,
Yeah.
scissors.
Then there you
Rock,
go.
paper, scissors.
Rock, paper,
Scissors,
scissors.
paper, rock.
Well, there you go, guys.
So
Last but
people
not
say-
least, before we wrap it up tonight, you guys are amazing. Thank you for being here. I forgot about this one very important information. If you're watching this and you attend Sunday circles, just remember on November 27th, Happy Thanksgiving. We
No
are not going to
church.
have midweek service, so don't show up.
Nada.
Don't show up on November
Zero.
27th. So that will be a pause also for us because we will not be having a podcast on that week too because
Back to back.
back to back.
Just
You know
like
what?
the
We
Kansas
should,
City
we should do a
Chiefs.
special podcast on episode 10.
Special Thanksgiving podcast.
So on
Be December, so it'd
Friendsgiving.
be Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Christmas is coming up soon, everybody. Have you all made your Christmas wish list yet?
No.
I made it in October.
Oh my goodness. What's one thing on your Christmas wish list?
A lot of clothes.
Yep,
that's for sure.
That
Clothes.
was my guess.
Okay.
What about you, Preston?
I don't make mine till like December 24th.
Do you have stuff in mind?
Clothes too.
I
David?
need new basketball shoes.
Basketball shoes?
Yeah.
What models?
Probably like some Hardens.
I want
I-
some running shoes. I want some.
Yeah. Well,
Asics.
I play a lot of like street ball at like public parks, so it's pretty rough. So
The first
You
thing
gotta
on
have
my
something that
wish
can-
list is blankets. That's the first thing.
you gotta have shoes.
Girls love blankets.
They
Oh, there you
do.
go, guys.
Trust me, it's banger strat. Get
Oh.
Allie a blanket.
I want I just love blankets for some reason.
There you go. Well, if you hear this out, everybody, blankets, clothes, basketball shoes, and
Yep.
running shoes. There you have it. So, if you want to, please donate to Victory Youth.
What's on your Christmas wish list, Pastor David?
A ticket to go back to Singapore.
Aww.
not paying for
He
that.
wants to go see the family man.
I'll donate $1 to you.
Me too.
I'll take the dollar, okay? I'll
everybody-
take whatever it
Oh,
takes.
yeah.
Everybody donate $1. You're like
If it's a nickel, a dime, I'll take it.
Yep.
Take it, guys.
a nickel.
A cross Pacific flight.
A nickel with no ridges on this side.
A nickel with no rigid on the side. Well, guys, thank you.
Maybe even a dime with 118.
18 ridges.
If it has 119, it's fake. So make sure you count all of your dimes.
Send us a video
There you go.
on the official youth Instagram.
There
Send
you
him
go.
the video.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody. We'll see you
Goodbye.
on the next week one. Peace.